So you know how I've been complaining about the weather for the last 2 weeks because it was 50 degrees one day and then it was 20 degrees and raining? Well, look what happened today. It snowed this morning. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, do me a huge favor, go down and subscribe before we get into this video. Today I'm going to be talking about my 2019 Mustang GT and the MT-82 transmissions. I'm going to tell you guys my experiences with it and what I know about it and whether if it's a garbage transmission or not. This transmission never really had the best of a reputation, but in the last year it's had a really bad name, so I want to kind of clear things up. And for the people who are thinking about getting a 6-speed Mustang and getting the MT-82, you guys want to know, like, should I get it, or honestly, should I just get a different car? Well, I'm gonna address all those things in today's video. First thing, we gotta get this car started. So yesterday, I went to go start the car. As you guys know, I've been having that battery issue. And again, the car sat for probably five days or so, and it didn't start. I think it should start today, though. All right, now that I've got a little bit of heat into the motor, let me tell you guys a little bit about my experience with this transmission. I've had this car for over a year at this point. I've put over 12,000 miles on it, so I've driven it quite a bit. This car's just shy of 20,000 miles currently. As far as problems with this transmission, working, I've never had a gear grind, I've never had a lockout, I've never had any type of issue in this transmission other than a slight rev hang. I'll explain that in a little bit. But what a lot of people are saying on the internet is that they're having third gear lockouts, they're having gear grinds, they're having all types of different issues in these transmissions. A decent amount of it could be user error, just, you know, banging gears super hard and pushing the transmission further than what it's supposed to go. The transmission isn't meant to handle more power than what it is factory, and a lot of people with supercharged Mustangs, they're gonna end up blowing the transmission. A lot of the people are aware of it, but it would be nice to have a Tremec, because a Tremec straight out of the box, even though it might be a couple more $1,000s more expensive for the cars, I think a lot of people, including myself, would just rather have the Tremec transmission. I've driven a GT350 before that had the Tremec transmission, and I enjoyed driving that car way more than this car. But that being said, this transmission isn't bad. It just doesn't have the same feeling a Tremec does. The Tremec just goes into gears better, it has a little bit of a shorter throw to it, and it just feels a little bit more precise, while this transmission has a very long throw. I'll show you guys what I mean a little bit. That's first, that's second, that's third, and that is fourth. It has some pretty long throws. A Tremec would be, here's first, here's second, here's third, here's fourth, but this car has the extra throw to it, which you can fix with a short throw. And what I've heard from a couple people who do have boosted Mustangs, that the short throw with this transmission has basically been fine with them for holding the high horsepower. They hold up to 800 horsepower with the short throw. That's what I've heard. There's no facts backing it up other than just their experiences with the cars. As far as my experience goes, the transmission's been fine. It goes into gear fine, it rose through the gears fine, no gear lockouts, nothing like that. Occasionally, when I'm going from third to fourth, I do have rev hang. Rev hang is basically when, let's say I'm at 6,000 RPM and the car is going to shift down to like 5,000 RPM. So when I go from third to fourth, the car doesn't go down to 5,000 fast enough. So I'll go down from third gear to fourth gear. I'm already in fourth gear. The car should be at about 5,000 RPM, but instead of the car being at 5,000 RPM, it's more still at 5,500 RPM. So if I let off the clutch, it's gonna put excessive wear on the clutch, but it also, there's like that split second where I'm faster than the car is revving down, which I think has to do with the software issue I've brought into the dealer before, but they had nothing to say about it. I've seen a lot of the more 2020, 2021, and 2022 Mustangs have issues with these transmissions than the 2018 and 19. 2018 and 19 was the first years of the facelifted Mustang, the third generation Coyote motor. A little bit of differences, more horsepower and other things like that. But let's put it into gear real quick, get it rolling. It's a smooth transmission, it doesn't buckle. It does feel a little different than the normal transmissions do, but there isn't any problems with it. It has a very heavy clutch pedal thing, but there's rev match. The car performs fine. What you see right there how slowly the car is revving down, but that's not horrible. When you get into the higher RPM, I want to say like 6,000, 7,000 RPM, and you shift, that's when you can really notice it. You guys saw it a little bit. I did shift faster than the car does, and I think that's just a problem all of them have. And when you kind of do start banging gears in the cars and kind of abusing them a little, that's when you're going to start having issues. So if you are buying the Mustang for that purpose, to just abuse it on a drag strip, the transmission isn't going to hold up. And I mean, you're probably better off getting an automatic if you're going to be racing. If you're going to be casually, leisurely driving it and kind of having a little bit of fun, the MT-82 shouldn't give you any issues. You can always build up the MT-82, but it's usually better to go with a Tremec swap for the couple $1,000s. I would say in the first 3 years that you have the warranty, you'll know if your car transmission is bad or not, and you can go in and get it fixed from the dealer. Sometimes they don't like doing warranty work. I've brought my car in for the rev hang issue, and there were no help whatsoever. So, I mean, the transmission's not the best, but is it as bad as people say? I would say no. I think it's got a little bit of a bad reputation because people build the cars and then they don't build the transmissions, and the transmissions blow, and then they abuse them. They're not made to be taken on the strip. They're not made to bang gears super hard, and when you start doing that and abusing them like a Tremec transmission, they don't like it and they blow. If you're someone who's kind of leisurely going to drive it, or maybe you do some mods to the transmission to beef it up a little bit, for the most part, I think you should be okay, and you shouldn't avoid buying the car because of the transmission. At the end of the day, it depends on what purpose you're buying the car for. I do not regret my decision of getting the MT-82. The transmission has held up very well for me, and I think for my purpose is driving it on a daily basis, having a little bit of fun on back roads, and not super abusing the transmission. It's been great. No issues other than the rev hang, which it's not that big of a deal, but it's there sometimes and it gets annoying. Others have had very bad issues and very bad experiences, but personally, I have the warranty backing me up, so if the transmission does decide to have some issues, they hopefully should fix it for me. And I mean, my transmission, I feel like in the first year you get to know your car a little bit and know whether it's going to have some problems or not, and I think my transmission is fine. There's no issues with this car. There's no big problems that are going to affect the reliability and affect the car being driven, so I don't have any problem with the MT-82. When something breaks, that's when people are going to make videos about it. They're not going to make a video about the transmission being like, hey guys, so today my transmission worked. Anytime you're going to see a video, for the most part, it's going to be someone saying, hey guys, today my transmission blew up, because no one really cares if your transmission is working. That's what it's supposed to be doing. So I think that's why the transmissions kind of got a bad name for themselves, because of the videos that started coming out and people saying that the transmissions are garbage. But there are some people who bought the cars brand new and immediately started having clutch issues, transmission gear grinds, lockouts. There's a way to fix some of those things, like changing the transmission fluid, swapping out some of the clutch components. Again, that's something that you shouldn't have to pay for in a brand new car. But again, that could be user error as well. They could have just taken the Mustang out of the dealership and just started abusing the car. When you abuse something, it's not gonna hold up. And especially the MT-82. The MT-82 is not going to hold up to abuse. So I hope you guys have found this video slightly informational. Personally, no issues with the transmission. I would say go for it if you're thinking about getting one of these. But again, I have not had any problems with my Mustang so far. I'll keep you guys updated if something does come up, of course. But if you're thinking about getting an MT-82, you want a 6-speed Mustang, do it. I would 100% not advise against it. As long as you don't abuse this car, abuse the transmission, and treat it right, you shouldn't have any issues. If you are one of those very few people who end up having the issue, there's always, you know, 1 or 2 cars that will have some slight issues. It's not going to be every car. There's a very low possibility that you're gonna get one of those cars from factory right out the box that's gonna have a ton of issues. There's lemon laws for that, of course. And there are things that are going to protect you, like warranties. I have absolutely loved the year experience with this car. The transmission has been all right. It has been a lot better than what people have said it has been. I do wish my car had a Tremec transmission, and if you're looking into buying a newer $50,000 Mustang, I would advise you to go with the Mach 1 because it has the Tremec. But if you are someone who's looking to pick it up used for around $35,000 like I did, the MT-82 isn't that bad. And for the people who watched the last video and have been asking me about my Nissan Z order, I'm just going to address this real quick one time for the people who stuck around. So basically, I still have the car on order from my dealership. There's been no news. The car's been pushed back to summer of 23. But again, I ordered the Z06, which replaced my order for the Z. I saw the Z when it came out. I really liked the car. I might pick it up on the used market once it depreciates a little bit, and I might eat my words because I might go crazy over sticker, which is one of the other reasons I wanted to order the car and not wait for it, because I don't want to pay over sticker for a car. I will not pay over sticker for a car. I never expected to be given the opportunity to buy the Z06 so easily at a affordable price compared to $60,000 over sticker. So now that I've been given the opportunity, the Z is no longer on the table until they can become slightly used, maybe $10,000, $15,000 depreciated, and it's a couple more years into the future, and at that point I might look into buying one. Just to clear it up real quick for the people who have been asking. But if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.